do really like that. I don't care if it's just license-free music. I love that intro.
Right? I do too.
Welcome to The Ugly Truth. This is episode 595. Ugh. I love your signature ugh. It's great.
I don't know why it's just rolling off the tongue today.
It's perfect. I'm Jamie. This is my sister, Stephanie. Welcome to The Ugly Truth. Okay, so I have on my notes here that we need to talk about a new addition to your home.
Oh, yes. Mr. Piss Pants.
You decided to adopt a new dog.
I did.
A puppy.
It's a puppy. It's a puppy.
I love puppies.
I got lucky, and from my dog that I have now and the new puppy that I just got are both like backyard dogs. Like someone's pet had a litter of puppies
because they haven't gotten the memo that it's time to spay and neuter.
Kind of,
that's
yeah.
right.
And well, this puppy in particular, she told me the story, and essentially she had a 7-year-old female dog who wasn't fixed, and they got a puppy.
Oh,
an Australian Shepherd, and a year later, the older dog they had got pregnant. Well, the vet had told them, like, she's not going to let him near her, for one, because she's like, get the fuck away from me, because she's old. He's like, and two, even if something did happen on the off chance, she's so old that I highly doubt that she would get pregnant. Well, guess what?
Lies. All lies.
Pregnant. And she had a huge litter of puppies.
No.
So she had 9, 8 survived, and she needed homes. So,
and you got one.
I got one. I got very lucky.
What did you end up naming him again?
I did not name him. Okay. My son has named all the 2 dogs that we've had. My son has named. So we have Kevin.
I love that name.
And now we have Mike. I tried desperately. Actually, I even liked Tony was the other one he wanted to name him, but no matter what, I didn't like either of those names.
No.
So he was nameless for 3 days, and then finally Jeff's like, "Mom, look, you're not coming up with anything. I've been calling him Mikey. I'm calling him Mike." I'm like, "Fine."
What's funny is when you and I talked about this a few weeks ago, I said, "What's with the guy names?" And she's like, "I don't know." I go, "Maybe he wants a brother." She goes, "He has a brother. It's Kevin."
Yes.
So now he has his little pack of
Jeff
bros.
has given me many lectures in the past about why didn't you have another baby? Like, why didn't I have a brother or sister? It's not fair.
I would say because my uterus said no more because I'm old.
I'm old AF.
And I don't want... You know what? It's so funny when... I can't remember. There's some celebrity who's pregnant right now and she's 50. Oh, it's... who's that bitch that did... she was married to Chad Lowe for a minute. She did the boxing movie with Clint Eastwood, and then she did the
Hillary Swank.
Hillary Swank is pregnant. She's 50, I believe.
Good God.
And I read that and I went, I feel sorry for her. Like, why?
I feel sorry for the kid.
Well, yes, because she will be 70 when her son is 20.
I'm telling you, I am the ancient mother. My son is 11 and I am 49.
Isn't it really funny how when we were young, because we had our kids so young, that when we would go to the school, I can't tell you how many times my parents, other mothers or teachers would go, "Oh, are you her sister?"
Same.
And I'm like, "I'm her mom." And they're like,
"Yeah."
Oh,
but looking back now, if you saw a 19-year-old at a elementary school,
they look like fetuses.
I know.
Like, "Oh, are you babysitting? Is this your caretaker?"
So it's true. It's no wonder no teachers ever took us seriously. They're like, "You're a child."
Did. Well, here's how you know how young we were. I would have to do parent-teacher conferences, especially with Tyler, because I was very young when I had him.
Right.
And I would sit down and I'd be like, "Hi, Miss Simning, I was in your 2nd grade class."
I know.
And she's like, "I remember you."
She's like, "You were in my 2nd grade class like 2 years ago." Yeah.
She's
what
like,
the hell?
"I remember you." And I'm like, "I know." She's like, "Well, life's been good for you, hasn't it?"
I think Miss Teeters was Lauren's teacher, Christy Teeters. You remember her? Yeah, she was. She wasn't my kindergarten or 1st grade teacher, but I think she was yours. She was someone's.
Well, Mrs. Campbell was your teacher.
Okay, I don't.
And she was at the school for a minute before she retired. But all of our grade school teachers ultimately migrated.
Mrs. Wolf,
Miss
Lopresti,
Mrs. Simning, Mrs. Martin, who was It was funny because
I love Mrs. Martin.
I do love Mrs. Martin. And actually what's really funny is I think I've said the story before, but I was her first class.
Oh, when she was a new teacher?
She was a new teacher, so she was like 21,
wow.
22. And because back in the old days, people would go to college and you would come and you would get employed immediately.
Yeah.
So 21-year-olds would get jobs as teachers immediately. And so it was at Twin Lakes, and I think she was my 4th grade teacher. And I loved her. She was so pretty.
Yeah.
She's a tall blonde woman.
I remember her very
And I just really liked, she always had nails and wore jewelry. I just thought
she was young.
21-year-old girl.
Yeah.
I mean, in this day and age would be considered, people would call her a girl. But I do remember the first time I got in trouble with Mrs. Martin. And it was I was honestly really a dumb kid. I did some dumb shit.
You weren't dumb. We were very naive.
Behaviorally, I did some really stupid shit. And it makes me laugh now. But I was late because I went to the bathroom with a friend. The recess bell rang and we were tardy, very tardy, like 5-10 minutes.
Ooh.
She didn't come and get me. This is grade school. So that just doesn't happen. So we walked in the door and she was in the middle of teaching spelling or something. I walk in and I go, please forgive us. We're so sorry. We're late. And she's like, Jamie, walk out of this classroom immediately. You have made a scene. Leave and come in quietly. And if you can't do that...
Oh, you were trying to make jokes?
Well, I walked in very loudly, like, please forgive us for being late. And it was dead silent. And she's like, leave this classroom and come in quietly. And if you can't do that, do not return. And she was yelling, like firm yelling. And so I walked back in very quietly and I was beet red. I'm like, what? And even in my brain, I'm like, why do I do those things?
You're awkward.
What's wrong?
You've been awkward since birth.
Or the time in 5th grade when Mr. Ocello was talking and I forgot my history book in the back of the class. So I got up to get it on my knees.
Crawling?
And then I crawled back to my desk and I didn't realize that he had stopped lecturing. And I look up and I'm like, he goes, what are you doing? And I'm like, I just didn't want to disturb anyone. He's like, on your knees?
So you crawled, yes.
And no one understood.
Like, why is she...
Like, why couldn't I just
and
get
by
up
the way, Mr. Osella was, I believe, a 5th grade teacher.
He was.
So we were like 10 or 11.
Yeah, I was 11. I'm like, what? What's happening? Why?
I'm glad you were like that, not me. I don't remember. To be fair, I don't remember a lot. You remember everything.
I do,
oh my God.
I do have a memory. It's true. Just like I had my 3rd grade teacher, Mrs. Green, look like a turtle.
Yeah, she did. She wore turtlenecks all the time.
And green.
She was the epitome of the 70s and early 80s where you wore...
Oh, 70s for
brown
sure.
and
polyester suits.
Yes, and that forest green that's so awful and ugly.
Yeah, and she even had a mint green.
Orange.
I remember her mint green and her rust colored. She must have had like 8 polyester suits and she just rotated them.
Well, I mean, you know, teachers don't make a lot of money for one. And
that's true, but they also kind of like to have a uniform.
Sort of, yes.
Anyway, I don't even know what the point of all of that was. But anyway, so now you have a dog.
Yeah.
How's the potty training
Horrible.
going?
I hate my life right now. Like, I can't do it. In fact, I washed so much blankets and stuff because here's the thing. He was basically living like the life of a granola bar. You know, like he could do anything and everything.
He was free.
He was free. Pee on poo and whatever you want. We don't care, you know. So now I have these rules where like, no, we don't pee on furniture and
we do not.
Blankets and beds.
There are rules here.
Yes. So he got his first swat on the hiney. Woo. Didn't even yipe or anything, but he did look at me like,
oh yeah. When they
like I just beaten him with a sword, you know, and I'm like, look, dude, you haven't been allowed on the bed in a week. Like
there's a reason.
And now Kevin can't come on either because I can't let one dog on and not the other.
Yes.
So poor Kevin, he's not been allowed to be on the bed.
He's like, Mother, what did I do?
Yeah, he's like, I didn't do anything. He's like, leave him down there. I have nothing to do with this.
He's like, this mongrel is ruining our lives.
You're the one that brought him in here. And so I finally, this morning, it's Sunday, I let him on the bed. I swear to God.
Immediately?
No, like 10 minutes. Long enough to where I let my guard down, to where I was back on TikTok or whatever. Looked out of the corner of my eye and he had that funny, I was like, don't you even think about it. And then he started doing it. I was like, no.
Oh my God.
Whack. I smacked him on the butt and he's just like, oh my God, you beat me.
Puppies are so difficult.
It's exhausting.
You almost have to take vacation.
Well, it's a
3-day
weekend for me, so I was determined to make progress,
cured.
and I did. Good. But accidents still happen.
Luckily, he's a really smart puppy.
He's very smart,
so it won't take much. I remember when we picked up Sasha, and I was telling you about it before the show that you crate train them so that when you take them out, they know to pee outside, or they pee where they poop, or they pee where they eat, and they do not do that.
No, they don't like that.
No. And that's how you train them. And so, but she would cry for hours. And I'm like, and I remember walking up to her. It was like 2:00 in the morning. I looked at her and I said, you won't be winning this.
Right.
So you can continue to cry.
I say it to him too. I'm like, cry away.
But you're not getting out, and you're not, because the second I let you out, you'll pee somewhere, and it's not happening. And so, and I took her out to pee at night to make sure that she wasn't.
2:00 in the morning, I'm standing in, and by the way, I know we live in California, and
it's freezing.
It's like 30.
Yeah, it's cold right now.
I'm freezing.
So finally at 3 a.m., I picked her up, held her in my lap, started Googling, why do huskies cry? And she looked up at me. She turned around and she looked up at me. I mean, and this is like a 12-week-old dog.
Yeah, I don't know when you got her, but
she turns up and she gives me this look, and then she turns around and bonks her head and buries her head into my arms. Like, she's so frustrated.
I know.
And I'm like, all right. So, I mean, we worked it out. We figured it out. But she too, but you know what? They're so smart. It just takes, unfortunately.
It takes persistence.
It takes persistence and regularity, and you can't, it sucks, man.
It does. It's never ending. It's constant and it's exhausting.
But once it's done, it's done.
Exactly.
And that's so nice.
And so, and that's why, like with Kevin, I give myself mad props for Kevin because he is perfectly trained.
Good. Which means, you can do it.
I know I can do it. And so but it's just, when you're tired and you're old and you work 40, 50 hours a week, like literally it's the last thing you want to do when you get home. In fact,
I was talking to Mackenzie, because her boyfriend's family, they had to say goodbye to one of their pets. Mm-hmm. And they want to get another dog, but they're like, don't get a dog in the winter. It's brutal on potty training.
Same.
Because it's too cold.
And they don't want to go out. They're like, oh, it's freezing out there. I don't want to go out there. No. I'm like, get out!
Sheets of rain or snow. And they're like, no.
Yeah, we get no rain in California. We've had like 2 rainstorms in the last week.
I know.
I'm like, God, shoot me.
It's suddenly, but we need the rain, as everybody in California will say. Everyone in California says, we needed this. This is good rain.
It's so true. I haven't seen the streets have not been this clean in a year and a half.
It's been nice. Okay, well, congratulations on Mikey, and I can't wait to hear the new things. So the other day,
I posted a picture of him on my Instagram the other day. So
he's
you know what? I don't know if it's the show or what I've done, but suddenly I'm getting like all these random people like following me on Instagram or TikTok.
Yeah.
Who are they? Who are you people?
It's your listeners. Don't be such a bitch.
They're all guys, mostly. I know. I'm like, did I click on something? Did I is it my algorithm? I'm like,
your algorithm?
Like, what is it?
I was going to tell you, by the way, I have my algorithm.
Algorithm?
I have my word. Like your algorithm that you can't say, I have my word.
What is it?
It's an... Oh, see,
you still can't even say it now.
Hold on. Daryl has corrected me a million times. He's like, oh, do you mean anonymity? Oh, shit.
Oh, God. Now
anonymity?
I can't say
anonymity. Anonymity?
Is that like when you like want to be anonymous?
Yes.
Or you don't want to be visible?
So
like Emiratis?
Stephanie, do you know how long I said jacama?
What's jacama?
Jicama?
Well, that day that I said Emiratis, we weren't recording the show, right?
What's Emiratis?
I thought it was the name of that airline. And Daryl looked at me and he's like, do you mean Emirates? It was so organic the way it happened.
I do remember
that. I was like literally stunned. I'm like, oh. Like, I didn't know.
I think what I'm doing is I'm putting too much focus on the wrong syllable. Syllable? Haven't you ever seen that scene?
No.
Okay, it's called From the Top. A View from the Top. It's with Gwyneth Paltrow.
Oh, love that movie.
I fucking love that movie.
That is so hilarious. Christina Applegate is amazing.
I don't know why it has such bad reviews, but it's a great movie.
It's dumb, but it's funny.
It's not dumb. It's so good.
It's just one of those fluffy,
so good.
Silly, yeah, but I love it.
It reminds me of that movie, The Sweetest Thing, which I think is probably one of my most favorite movies.
Jerry loves that movie.
It is so...
He'd kill me for saying that on there right now.
Right. It's great.
Well, it's a girly movie for one. And
kind of, but they're so funny.
But he loves it. Loves that movie.
It's just Christina Applegate, once again. Mm-hmm. And I will say, you are her doppelganger. There is no doubt.
He loves Cameron Diaz, too. He's a sucker
for her.
I don't know why. I saw a TikTok the other day on a girl who did her nails, who does celebrity nails.
Isn't she really nice?
She says she's a total bitch.
Did you tell your husband?
I literally was watching that TikTok this morning, and I'm like, okay, it's one person. And she even said, she's like, look, maybe she was having a bad day.
I do remember that TikTok. Oh, my God. I do remember that TikTok.
Yeah. So she was doing her nails and Leslie Mann's nails. And she said that Cameron was like, see you next Tuesday.
There was
treated her like the help.
There was a TikTok where it's a rumor that's been, low-key proven apparently. I mean, this is all gossip, of course, that Chris Pratt had an affair with Jennifer Lawrence when they did that horrible movie in space. That they had an affair during that, and that's what broke up his marriage with Anna Faris.
Could be.
And not even that long ago.
I've heard Anna Faris talk about her marriage to him, too.
Jennifer Lawrence said it was the biggest mistake. She goes, my best friend told me not to do that movie, and I wish I had listened to her, is what she said. And I'm like, first of all, I stand for Jennifer Lawrence. So, I mean, if she fucked up, she fucked up.
Well, I mean, you got when you're an actor, how can you possibly know what film is going to be the big thing and what's not? How many actors have you heard say, like, I never in a million years thought this film was going to do anything. I needed the money. I did it. And the next thing you know, it's a freaking classic that we've all seen a billion times.
Dirty Dancing.
Officer and a motherfucker. Officer and a... That's what Jerry and I call it. Officer and a gentleman.
Oh, officer and a motherfucker. That's good.
I don't know why he calls it that.
Who knows? But
he's been saying it for so long now that I say it.
That's just what we call it.
Stupid.
But anyway, I was just like, the tea is hot. Speaking of, fucking Nick Cannon's having 2 more children.
I can't with him. I don't even want to see it anymore.
11 and 12 kids. And it's funny because...
Do none of these women have a jealous bone in their body?
Well, not only...
How would you feel?
Stephanie, come on.
Look, I don't know.
Well, first of all, is he officially together, quote unquote, with any of these people?
I don't think he's together with any of them, but I'm just wondering, like, do they all have an understanding of knowing it's like, yeah, look, when I leave you tonight, I'm going to be with someone else tomorrow night.
Or does he just say,
and she could be pregnant?
We're just not exclusive, and
maybe they're all fine with it.
Or they're just, because, I mean, he's literally the equivalent of an NBA player, so they're like, we know our children are going to be cared for.
I guess.
Didn't you and I talk about he has generational money?
Yes.
Okay, so he's wealthy. So
plus he's wealthy because he's very successful as well.
But very successful. Yeah. But I mean, this is a man who has the means to financially care for these children.
Definitely.
And like, I was reading something, they're just like, just leave him alone. He can take care of his kids. Who gives a shit how many he has? And I'm like, there's more than just financial care that's required to
raise a successful adult.
Can you imagine the burden that these poor women have now to care for these children?
I mean,
like, what's happening? Like, he can't be everywhere at once.
No, not only that, but yes, you're right. But 2, I mean, okay, look, we all have had kids, or some of us have had kids where you have a kid with somebody and then you have a kid with someone else, and it's close together or whatever.
Absolutely.
Or the father of your child has a kid with someone else.
I'm not proud, but I have 3 baby daddies.
Okay, and so
I married one of them, but still.
And one of your baby daddies, or if not more than one, they have children with other women.
They both have children with other women.
And they could be similar in age with our kids, because that's just how life is sometimes, right? Mm-hmm. Now, so that wouldn't necessarily be weird, but when you have 11 children
and they're all within months apart.
Months apart.
Not even.
Yeah, some of them are pregnant at the same time.
It's crazy.
How are you going to explain that to your lovely little child? And
when they get to do an age,
old enough to it's like Dad, you literally have 10 kids with 10 different women. That are the exact same age as me.
It's weird.
It's weird.
And it is something hate to tell everybody, but that shit comes to roost. Because they aren't cute little babies for long.
No.
Eventually they wake up and they go, what were you thinking?
Right.
I mean, like, Jan is a bitch.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. You will definitely.
It's weird. I don't know. It's very strange.
It's odd. I don't know what he's doing. I'm really wishing that it wouldn't take the news anymore, because I don't even. Well,
I think it's because they're just like, he's not doing it for press.
Now it's like a phenomenon. Yeah.
It's odd. And I keep going, he's in the Duggar realm now. Like, what are we doing? And it's a harem mentality.
Right?
It's strange.
It's like those doctors who work for fertility clinics.
And they use their sperm.
And they use their own sperm to get people pregnant, and they just don't tell anyone.
Listen to many podcasts. Why? There's been many podcasts.
Yeah.
I told you about the one where the 2 people were married. They met each other in the same town, like their childhood home, and they were related.
Oh, God.
And they were like, they had to decide, do we have the same biological father? Are we going to continue being married, or we just can't have kids? Or, what are we going to do?
What'd they do?
They broke up.
Oh,
that would suck.
It would suck, but I mean, I think it would eat away at you after a while.
I turned to Daryl and I said, what would you do if we were engaged? What if we were related? He's like, I don't even like, he goes, why do you propose these questions to me? First of all,
it's real. It happens.
And second of all, I can't fathom that, and I don't want to answer you because he can't. Like the other day, there's a trend that went on for a minute on TikTok where women were secretly they had their camera on their face and their husband or boyfriend was sitting somewhere off camera, and they go, "Do you wash your ass in the shower?" And he's like, "Well, yeah. What do you mean?" She's like, "Well, I mean, do you spread your butt cheeks apart and really get in there and wash it?" He's like, "Well, I let the water run down."
Oh no!
And then they look at the camera, they're like, "Oh no." Apparently men don't spread their butt cheeks and soap up the crack.
Well, my husband does.
Well, okay.
He's weird.
No,
he's weird. We
were laying in bed, and I think we had some Manhattans that evening, and we were laying in bed. I don't normally do this to Daryl because we're very private when it comes to certain things. Like he doesn't know that I poo unless I have an issue kind of thing. You know what I mean?
For some reason you have to announce it.
We like to keep it sexy.
Yeah, thank you.
And we
appreciate that, as do I.
And I looked at him and we were laying in bed looking at each other, getting ready to fall asleep. And he kept staring at me. And I go, "Do you wash your ass in the shower?" He's like, "Why would you ask me that?"
Does he watch TikTok, by the way?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, he does?
Oh, okay. Yeah. And I go, "Well," and I told him about the phenomenon and about on this TikTok thing. And he goes, "Jamie," he's like, "Yes." I go, "Well, do you like spread your butt cheeks apart?" And he's like, "Why are you asking me this?"
I need to know. Just answer the question.
First of all, if he wants me to touch his pee-pee, it's clean. It's pristine.
Yeah. Thank you.
And we
better only smell like skin.
We have
soap.
An incredibly healthy sex life, so I know the answers to this. But I'm asking because I know it bothers him, and that's why I do half the shit I do to him. And so I said, "I mean, do you like?" He goes, "Well, if you're going to force me to say that I suds up, yes, I do." I go, "So you don't just let the water run down it?" He's like, "No," and I'm like, "All right,"
because some guys do apparently.
Well, I just told him. I said, "Well, this does not apply to you." And by the way, didn't even need to ask because I absolutely know that he's profane of clean. In your home as well.
Yes.
I said, "I think that's the difference between boys and men. Boys don't know that they got to get every nook and cranny."
My son does. He's so cute.
Men know.
Yeah.
That they have to keep it pristine.
Well, I think this is one of those things that if you're not taught it, then yes, in your scenario. But my son has been having his ass cracked scrubbed since birth.
Well, that's because of us.
Yeah. So he'll always do it.
You know what?
Right?
It makes me almost want to throw up a little bit, but I remember when my children were young and having to clean their butt cracks.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
Well, it is disgusting.
It's disgusting.
And that's why you continue to do it.
There's not enough
not
enough baby wipes in the world.
No.
Sometimes you need a good old soap and water and a wop.
Well, that's why we have the removable detachable shower head.
Oh, yes.
Where you can change the yes. Those things are magnificent when you have children.
We're going to power wash you now.
Yes, I power wash my son. Still do it.
Well, boys are disgusting. You have to.
And he smells. I'm like, God, you bathed last night and it's 2:00 in the afternoon the next day and you smell like a little sweat sock.
I think that dirt it's like magnetic.
And he's like, I like it.
No.
My son.
Well,
he loves to shock me and disgust me.
Gee, wonder where that comes from.
I know. Everything he does
a whole podcast on it.
Just to see my reaction.
That's
so
hilarious.
He loves that.
So anyway, he's just like, "I don't know why you do this to me when we're going to sleep." And I'm like, "I was just wondering." He goes, "You know the answer."
I was having thoughts and I had to say them.
Speaking of, Daryl.
Okay. Poor Jerry. I was like,
what?
I was mad at him because he was in the bathroom for so long.
What did you do?
Well, no, it happens all the time. That's the thing. It's like, I feel sorry for him because he's probably in there like, am I in here too long? Have I not been in here long enough? And when I come out,
he's traumatized.
Like he doesn't
traumatized your poor husband.
What the wrong thing or right thing is to do. So he came out and I was like, good Lord. I was like, you've been in there for like an hour. What the hell were you doing? He's like, I was washing my ass, okay?
Like, it took that long, huh? Well, that's all right.
Well, I'm sure the first half wasn't washing that, but it was required to be washed after whatever it was he was doing. But I genuinely appreciated I was like, oh, okay.
Well, thank you.
You're forgiven. Like, yes, thank you for washing your ass.
Thank you for being clean. I appreciate it. It makes life much easier when you're clean.
Well, I mean, he can't go to the bathroom number 2 without doing that. Like,
he's very like,
we should have a bidet.
Because
Stephanie, he cannot
I have to tell you, I am a convert. I want one so bad.
Right?
I do. I want one so bad. We had one.
There's nothing better than
we had one in Europe.
It leaves
the
no
whole
doubt.
time. The whole time we were in London, I'm like, other than the fact that I couldn't get privacy, the bidet, the bidet part of the toilet was magical.
Yes, and I mean, if you're still a menstruating woman too, I can imagine that would be blissful, right?
It probably feels amazing, and not in a sexual way.
I mean, no, not in a sexual way, but I mean, as a woman who's menstruated for the last 30 years,
for 100 years,
right? I mean, I just know it's a struggle. The struggle is real when it comes to. You always want to be clean, and it's you can't shower every time you change your tampon or your pad, although you want to.
There's a couple of things that the United States could improve upon: the metric system, as well as bidets as being the common thing. I remember when they were trying to make bidets a thing, they were trying to make fetch happen. And so this big hotel, I believe it was in New York, replaced all of the toilets in their hotel with Totos, which is the bidet / flushy thing. And the guests hated it so much that they had to take them all out and put normal toilets in. And Europe laughs at us. They're like, your asses are smelly.
And they are.
Because you use paper to wipe.
But all the rich people that my husband works for, they all have them.
They're amazing.
Yes. If you can afford one, they have them.
The only thing, and it's like, it's not about saving on toilet paper, because you still have to use toilet paper to like dry yourself.
Well, I mean, you have to, I'll do the initial wipe.
They do have dryers, so you don't have to do anything.
Dry your ass?
Oh, yes.
Oh, lovely.
I know. I would still feel weird about it. I would feel weird about it, but after a while, I'd be like, no, my ass is dry and warm.
I mean, if it's my own own toilet. Yeah, it's not like 100 people's butts are going to be on there.
No.
So yeah, I'm all about it.
I wish that we could just get one. I told Daryl, I'm like, I want them all. I want them in every room.
Or every bathroom.
Yes.
For sure.
I'm a convert. I'm all in. Anyways, I wrote this down because I would ask Daryl, I go, have you ever drank actual moonshine before?
I don't believe so.
I have.
Why?
Alan?
How? Oh, God. So I thought it was, okay.
Real moonshine.
Because now you can buy like Everclear. It's a real thing.
In a mason jar, moonshine.
Must have tasted horrible.
It tasted like rubbing alcohol. Oh. And I drank probably a half a shot and I was wasted.
Ew.
Because it's so pure alcohol.
Well, I mean, you might as well have just taken a shot of rubbing alcohol.
I even said that. I go, are you sure this is safe to drink? Because this smells like rubbing alcohol. It was clean, like clear, like water.
I mean, I guess it's fun for the people who make it, but I just don't find it enjoyable.
I think we saw like there was some commercial for some Moonshine Brothers show. I don't know.
I'm going to try that. I
asked him, I go, have you ever had moonshine? He goes, I don't know. And I'm like, well, I have, and it's not great.
It's awful.
I wouldn't find it pleasant.
I was thinking about like if I was in jail or in prison, TikTok. So lately I watched one video about a guy who was telling us what it was like to be in prison.
Yes.
And now suddenly every other TikTok that's coming up
that's your algorithm.
Yes. So, I mean, now I've had to ponder, like, if I were in prison, would I actually ferment my own fruit and make my own? I believe I would.
You make toilet wine?
Oh, God. But you know what? When you're in there, it's like, you have no choice.
All I know is that I would not do well in prison.
Jimmy.
I wouldn't. I am mean and I can be violent. If I need to be.
Oh, yeah.
I'll be violent if I need to be. But reality is that there are women far larger and meaner than I.
Oh, same.
And I would be someone's bitch quickly. Yeah. I know I would be.
Well,
I know it.
The thing
there's no way that I would be feared.
Women's prison is much different than a man's prison.
I heard it's not that bad.
It's not that bad.
Unless
because women, we are inherently motherly.
And most of the women in prison are for killing a man because they were beating him up, and hurting their kid.
No one's going to judge you for that. Like, girl, he deserved it. We know.
Or if you robbed or something,
drugs will get you in trouble. Yeah. Not the fact that you're using them, but what you do to use will get you in prison. Yes.
So to me, I think I'd be okay. But if there's some scary little group, I would not survive long. I'd be like, I'll be your bitch. That's fine. I mean, I wouldn't just roll over.
No.
But I would definitely...
You'd figure it out. See,
I'd eke my way in. Yeah.
For you and I, thankfully, we are smart enough that we would like look at the big picture and figure out what we have to do to survive.
I don't want to go to prison.
I don't either.
And when I say things like that, I'll be like, I don't think I want to go to prison. And Daryl's like, well, then don't.
Right. And like, it's a choice. But see, this is why
what are you doing?
These days, like, I would not drink and drive to save my life. Like, ever.
Oh my God.
Because that's the only thing I can think of that I would do something stupid, not purposeful. Like, I wasn't trying to break the law, but and then in a way, that's somebody. A choice. Yes.
Yeah. And then it's over.
And here I am.
I can't,
in orange.
I'm with you, dude.
So don't do it.
The idea of...
So I just don't do it. Yeah. I literally don't do it.
And then I think of it, and then I go, you know what? Martha Stewart is so badass.
Right.
She did it. And she was old and still did it.
And they still love her. To this day, those people were like, we loved Martha.
Now she has mad respect from everyone, and she's a fucking icon.
She is.
She
looks amazing.
All the women who are quote unquote famous for working their asses off, and now everybody, their name is essentially a brand.
That's true.
She's the only one that I would want to be like.
Every woman who's ever dared to try to enter that realm of home, what do you call it? Like, now they call them influencers, but I mean, she's like the matron. I'm talking about but I mean, she does cooking and cleaning and organizing and anything related to homemaking, right?
I found out just the other day on Martha Stewart's page that I'm putting my creamer on the wrong shelf in the refrigerator. So I have to move it. I'm like, I told Daryl, I'm like, well, we have to move the creamer. He's like, why? I'm like, well, Martha Stewart said it's in the wrong shelf. And he's like,
and so it is.
All right.
Well, I'm going to make her turkey this year.
Oh, I make her cheese rolls. Speaking of Thanksgiving, which is next week, I make her cheese ball every Christmas. And I'm the only one that likes it. But I eat it all, and I get really fat, and I don't care.
I don't care. I know. In fact, I'm going to start starving. Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
Now.
Yes.
So that when Thanksgiving comes, and that's the other thing about being the cook in the family. Mm-hmm. It's a terrible burden we bear because we have to taste everything as we're making it.
I do.
And you make things the day before. So you're literally eating for 3 or 4 days.
And I'm never hungry when it's time to sit down.
I am not either. I sit there and watch everybody else eat. They're like, are you going to eat? I'm like, I'm stuffed.
I've been eating all day. Yeah. No, it's true. It's
and if you don't eat, then you're dying, and it's hard to focus. Like if I'm not nibbling as I'm cooking and stuff, and I'm always drinking.
Well, that is, I think I go through 2 bottles.
I pretty much start off with champagne. So Joe's like,
would you like some wine with dinner? And I'm like, sure.
Yes.
No, that's not true.
And it's a football day.
It's
literally Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday of all time. No doubt. It's my favorite holiday. Mm-hmm. Even with the cooking I have to do, I don't care. Okay, and then the other thing I found out, I was listening, this is the TikTok show, everyone.
I know.
I was listening to a snippet of a podcast, and I tried to find the podcast so I could listen to it. But remember the OG Becky on Roseanne?
Yeah.
Okay. She was on a podcast, and she talked so much.
She's a sibling of somebody, right?
So much shit about Roseanne. I don't know, but
she's a sibling.
She's like, basically... hates Roseanne.
Wow.
Was glad she got fired.
Wow.
Hated her when she was a kid. Quit because she hated her so much.
Wow.
And then came back for the second rendition of it. And then when Roseanne was fired, I think foolishly.
Was stupid.
She was quote unquote canceled, which I mean, I can't even with that shit.
Honestly, she didn't even do anything that bad if I remember correctly.
It was nothing. You know what?
In the scheme of things that people have done in social...
I can't with cancel culture. It's not real, people.
Yeah.
It's not fucking real. Stop it.
Except for if you read the comments, people are so...
Yeah, you want to know who should be quote-unquote canceled? Harvey Weinstein. And he was.
Yeah, he's in prison.
He's in prison. You know, people like that, absolutely. And I wouldn't call it cancel. I'd
Bill Cosby should be in prison, by the way.
Being held accountable for crime.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
You know, but anyway.
But I mean, celebrities were so used to getting away with crime because they were celebrities that now that we are holding them accountable.
It feels like a cancel culture, but it's not cancel culture. No. Anyway. Okay, so I think that's all I have. Oh, other than Miss Argentina and Miss Puerto Rico got married.
You know what? I'm good for them. I'm
together.
Really, I think that's amazing.
I don't think are they allowed to have that much hotness in one?
Well, yeah. So that's the thing. We can say that, but I've been listening to men. And it's been pissing me off. I don't know, like on radio, just specifically, like the guys like. Every guy's fantasy, every guy's wet dream, blah blah blah. And I'm like, okay, why is it so hot that 2 really gorgeous women are married and in love, and all people want to talk about is imagining them having sex,
being a part of it.
Yeah, envisioning them having sex, thinking about them having sex. I'm like, God, I just find I am getting weird in my old age.
You're minimizing the fact that they're actually in love.
That's what
And let's not forget that they don't look like that when they're on stage. That's not what they look like.
Well, I mean, I'm still their gorgeous women.
Beautiful women, of course.
But I mean, that wasn't the first thing that popped into my brain.
No.
I just thought it was like a beautiful thing, you know.
Same.
And what I love is that we can talk about things like that now. There's no taboo anymore. There's no
we can
weirdness.
celebrate it.
We can celebrate it.
It's not going to be like, oh, they're going to be killed for being gay.
Yeah.
No.
And I'm like, that's the things that come to mind.
Is that kind of a huge
Is it because I'm a woman? Maybe.
No, you just also might just accept the fact that you allow people to live their life as long as they're not hurting anybody.
And it's not the first thing I think of when I see two really attractive gay men, like gay, gorgeous men. You know, there's many of them. Damn you. Yes. Why are all gay men gorgeous? But
I don't know, but they are.
And you see them together, and they're getting married. And I'm not sitting there thinking about like, ooh, I bet you there's, you know, I'm
their
not
sex
even
life
going
must be hot.
Yeah, like that's not what goes through my brain. Like,
well, same.
Is it because we're women and we just don't sexualize everything like men do?
Yes, I would agree,
the most part.
because I didn't look at these two gorgeous Latinas and go, "Oh, I bet sex would be fun for them."
No,
that's not it at all. But I think
it's a mature thing. Like as I'm getting older,
I just think men can't help themselves. You know, because they just see these two beautiful people.
I'm telling you, you sound like douchebags when you talk like that, though. You really do. Like,
yeah.
Because I was listening to it on the radio, and it was one of the top 40, you know, newer. And I'm like, you idiot. You sound like an idiot.
And I'd be offended. I mean, what if that was my wife? I'd be like, you know what? We really did not go public with this to make you off, to get you horny.
So that I can imagine what you're doing in your bathroom.
We actually did this because we're breaking a stereotypical
mold,
yeah, that all beauty queens aren't straight, and they also are, you know, they can find love anywhere, just like anybody else.
Thank you.
First of all, I mean, try to find a Latina or a Latino person who's not fucking hot.
I know, right?
I mean,
they're so attractive.
We're half Latina and we are fucking hot. Like I actually had a dream, and because I've said this many times, someone said something in my dream and I said, listen, I've been on this planet long enough. I don't want for love. No. I don't need to, I don't even have to go get it. It comes to me.
Yeah. I love that you always tell your kids that, like, look, you know what? Because
you have to choose to be single.
Well, exactly. Yeah. And there's never been a truer statement.
It's true.
That's very, very true. Mm-hmm. And I think that's not true for everybody, but I think if you have the right mindset, it's true for most people.
If you have even an ounce of self-love and self-confidence, thinking that you're the shit, you will attract them, men or women. You will attract them like flies.
Yeah, which is why I also say that, what's the word? Monogamy and loyalty is a choice.
It is.
Because it's a choice I have to make all the time.
Absolutely.
And trust me, if you've been married forever, like we have, you go through ups and downs in your marriage where your faith may be tested. Mine has been.
Yeah.
Or someone's just really hot, or you're really attracted to them for whatever the reason, and you just want to, but you're like, no, I can't.
No, because you value yourself commitment
for one, yes, and yourself and your commitment and your partner. But I'm just saying, like,
I agree.
In 25 years, there's been more than one opportunity where I could have. Yeah,
we're all human, and I can't tell you how many times that you have personally has said, you know, Daryl is a man. You do realize he does find other women attractive.
Yeah,
he just hides it.
He tries so hard,
really, really well.
He's not stupid.
I have tried. Outside of torture, I have tried to find who he finds hot.
He's not dumb.
He won't do it. He's like,
he's very smart.
In his mind, he's like, I am an old married man. I am not going to divulge anything from
ever.
You. And I'm like, damn it.
I tell you everything. No dummy. He's no dummy.
And he even goes, you find him hot, right? I'm like, who, John Hamm? Yeah, to the ground. 100%.
Oh my God, John Hamm is fine.
He's my favorite. He's my favorite. And there's really... I'm trying, Henry Cavill or Cavill, however you say it.
Yeah.
He's the other one, but I have
is it Henry?
Henry Cavill or Cavill.
Is he the same guy
He's
from
Superman?
Oh, okay. I was thinking of the guy from The Count of Monte Cristo.
Leo DiCaprio?
No, not Leo DiCaprio. I'm the only person on the planet who liked The Count of Monte Cristo.
It's an old film.
It's very old, and it got horrible reviews. But the guy who plays the guy that goes to prison and escapes.
Mandy Patinkin?
No. No. I think his name is something Cavalier or
Cavalier?
No, damn it.
Count of Monte Cristo.
Yes. Oh my God.
That's a stretch.
No, as soon as I tell you who it is, you're going to know, because he ultimately made much better films.
One would hope.
Well, and the bad guy in that movie is so good.
I mean, there's a lot of attractive men, but I have a type. Dark hair, blue eyes. That's my type. For the most part.
Okay, well, this guy would fit your mold.
Or beautiful eyes, anyway.
100%.
Dark hair and nice eyes.
Well, anyway, so yeah, Jim Caviezel. Caviezel.
Yeah, we're going to put his last name with anonymity and algorithm.
How do you say his name? Caviezel?
Caviezel?
Oh, we are just... Okay. He also played Jesus Christ in The Passion of the Christ.
I know who he is.
Now, I didn't know he was that.
Yes, I do know who that is. And okay. I don't recall specifically what he looks like, so whatever. Oh,
This is a recent photo.
His nose is too small for his face.
Well, he probably had a nose job.
Exactly, and it's botched. Go see Dr. What's His Face. By the way, Stephanie, what? I saw Dr. What is the name of the doctor?
Which one? There's two of them.
The two of them.
Terry
Dubrow.
Stephanie, rumored to be getting a divorce.
I saw Mr. Dr. Dubrow the other day on
in real life?
No. Oh. On some show like segue like promo.
Yeah. Oh, he does. He's infomercials.
Stephanie, he has so much filler in his face.
Oh my God, Jamie.
He looks horrible. Yeah. What happened? Why did he do that?
Because he's getting really rich on his own products.
He's got lip fillers.
Yeah, he does.
He's got cheek fillers.
He thinks quite highly of himself.
He needs to stop.
Yeah, he really does.
He looks like one of his botched patients.
I think he's getting divorced.
What's happening? You think some 20-something's going to think that's hot? Well, it's not about that.
It's about the money.
It's about the money.
It has nothing to do with,
They're selling their compound.
$55 million compound in Beverly Hills.
To move into a quote-unquote condo in Hollywood. I'm like, what?
Nope.
That is not.
See you, Dr. Dubrow.
They're getting
his wife Heather cannot admit it because she's going to be on the cast of Real Housewives again.
Oh, do you think they're saving it for the show?
Probably.
Okay.
Not only that, but she's such an egomaniac that
she just won't admit that
she's one of those, because they're Jewish and
they've been together forever.
I
got to tell you,
but
I think I would be a bit sad. I would be sad.
No,
because,
agreed.
I mean,
especially if it's going down the way the rumors are in social media, is that he's cheating and
and I heard that he had before.
Yeah,
but what makes me sad about it is that I legitimately liked them as a couple, and it sucks that he can't keep his dick in his pants. If it's true,
I agree. But here's the thing: on the most recent, she left Real Housewives for 5 years. She left the cast, and said she wanted to focus on her family.
Yeah.
And blah, blah, blah. Well, then she decided to come back.
I do remember that.
And they made it a big deal. Like the Bravo basically put her in the spotlight.
She was like the headliner.
She was the headliner for all the
new
promos.
Vicky or whatever.
Yes, and she was the front housewife in all the trailers and all of that. So you could tell they really spent a lot of money and let her basically dictate how she was going to come back.
Sure.
And I think that she did it because her marriage was already falling apart.
She needed something.
I think she needed something. And I think she needed to come back. She's only really she's been a soap opera actress.
Yes.
So, and Baywatch and stuff like that in her younger years.
Yeah.
So she's not an A-list celeb by any means. And definitely Housewives gave her a much bigger platform than she ever had.
I mean, they have that skincare
and it makes them a shit ton of money.
Oh, yeah.
These celebrities that go on QVC. Oh my God. They legit down low make millions.
That's why Jessica Simpson's on there.
Look at Lisa Rinna. Big lips.
I know.
That woman is almost a billionaire off of her Lisa Rinna collection from QVC. That's new.
Why can't we do that? What would we sell?
They sell to old, fat women who are at home who don't want to go shopping and they just buy that shit online because
I can do it.
That's Lisa Rinna.
I can do that.
It must be good if she's making it.
What could we sell? We could do a hair product with our hairdresser.
Well, unfortunately, somebody stole our idea and they already sell Uggs, like Ugg boots.
Well, that's been around for hundreds of years.
I know, but that should be us.
We need to find something and sell it. What could it be?
I don't know.
It's got to be something.
Could be something lip and clip.
We could do like maybe a line of eyelashes. We have good eyelashes.
That's true. We do.
It's
have
like
good
you could lip and clip, throw those things on, and you look put together.
Every housewife that's
gloss.
ever been on a housewife franchise has made their own business of some sort.
Beauty.
Yeah, Erica Jane's got hair extensions. That's her thing. I don't know if anybody's done eyelashes, but
we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
we're gonna get rich, and we're gonna be on QVC.
Oh my God, I'd love to be on QVC.
Knocking around.
I mean, even freaking.
And they're gonna call, and they're like, "Hi, I would just like to say that these are lovely lashes, but I am not old and fat at home."
Well, we love you anyway, Gazelle.
I love you, old and fat. Get over here. Buy our
And that's
products.
why our lashes are made for women of all sizes and shapes. We don't care what you look like.
We are all inclusive.
Ugly beasts, please come this way.
God, can
We
you
will make you look
imagine?
non-ugly.
Oh, Jesus Christ. All right. I have some ugly and awkward moments of the week before we go for the holidays. Are we ready?
I'm ready. I'm just glad somebody else is awkward instead of me all the time.
I found 3, and I think they're very funny. My coworker is pregnant, and they passed a card around, and I didn't know what to write, so I just put, "Have a good baby, Tanya."
That would be me.
Well, I hope you have a good baby, Tanya. I bought Preparation H for under eye bags.
Oh, Lord.
Now, I've heard this word.
I've heard too, because it's a tightener, right?
Yeah, apparently.
It tightens up hemorrhoids.
Oh, I don't.
That's what it's for. That's its purpose.
Preparation hemorrhoid. Yeah. I told the clerk, "Oh, I don't need a bag. I'm going to use it in the car."
They're probably like, ew, gross.
Like, okay.
Did you spread your butt cheeks in the shower this morning, I hope?
Did you cleanse your
Before
hemorrhoids?
you do that?
Gross. And this one made me laugh really hard. Maybe it won't this time, but I was 13 at a family-friendly party. All the kids were on the second floor dancing and trying to outdance each other in a comical way. So I can totally envision a bunch of 7th and 8th graders. I decided to get on all fours and pretend to spank myself. Wondering why no one was laughing at me, I tried harder.
Oh, God.
Everyone was looking up, so I turned around to see her dad, who was our minister, standing over me. He didn't say a word. He just simply turned around and went back downstairs.
That's all he needed to say.
Well, that's kind of how that works.
Yeah.
I remember when our mom and family was a bit more churchy, our sister was invited to a quote unquote family friendly party where all the kids were dancing and Nirvana came on, and our sister decided that this was the moment where
our baby sister?
No, Allison.
Oh, God.
Started doing head banging, like hardcore metal headbanger kind of behavior.
And they were all looking at like heathen.
And all the mothers were like, "Well, what?"
You will not be associating with Allison
And
anymore.
of course, our mother's just like, "We're leaving." And I'm like,
God.
and I told her, I'm like, "No, you're not. Leave her alone. They're having fun."
She's headbanging, please.
You know what? Conservative
There
Christians.
are so many worse things you could do.
It's like they're letting out their frustration of being.
They're just trying to be kids.
Oppressed.
They're trying to fit
oppressed.
in. They're just doing, when you're young like that, everything that you can do to be wild and free, right. It's like you want all of it.
It's not like they were making out.
It's
they
not
were
a bad thing.
I know. I don't know. You know what? We're so much better now than we were back in the day. God. But anyway, those are the funny, ugly and awkward moments of the week. Okay, so we are taking next week off because we'll be cooking for 3 days.
Yeah.
And but we will be back after that, and then it's Christmas time, dude.
I know, I can't believe it.
Just like that.
In fact, I have to take. As I was leaving my house to come over here today, I looked over and I'm like, Mr. Ghosty is still out. Halloween's gone. I'm like, I have to take Mr. Ghosty down.
We left our pumpkins up for a week.
Yeah.
And I told Daryl, I'm like, we gotta say goodbye.
Well, my next door neighbors took their scarecrows down.
Finally.
Yeah, and they usually do it after me. So the fact that they took their scarecrows down and Mr. Ghosty is still up, it's like.
Now, when we return, we're going to have a lot to talk about. You and I both have not, The Crown has come back. We have not even touched it.
I plan on tackling that.
I'm going to tackle it.
I will catch up on Sister Wives, even though
I'm just going to.
No one really cares about Sister Wives. I honestly.
Oh, no, you'd be surprised. But I will say this.
On our show, do people that listen to us watch Sister Wives?
Absolutely.
Okay.
But we're good and succinct. We don't spend too much time on it, just enough. But I will say this. I'm going to volunteer as tribute, and I'm going to pay the $2, and I'm going to see what Gwendolyn Brown has to say.
Oh, yes, please do.
On Patreon. And then I will report back. so far people are saying that not much, but by this point, she's released a video of all of the top questions that everyone's asking. All I know is that because she hates Robin, that's all I need to know.
That's what we all wanted to hear.
That's what we wanted to hear.
Yeah.
But other than that, I will report back.
So random, because I know we love TikTok. Everybody knows we love TikTok, okay? But one of the girls I'm following on TikTok, and I just love her so bad, is she is a courtesan at Mustang Ranch.
I follow the whores too.
Don't call her that.
Sex workers. I follow the sex workers too. Oh my God. I follow Stripper Talk too.
So, well, the strippers I love Stripper Talk. But this girl
Come
specifically.
get ready with me.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
I know, right?
I just love them.
God,
I love it.
Well, she's gotten quite a following, and she's really, she's so smart, and she's super articulate.
I love it.
She's all about the business part of it.
Awesome.
So love her, and
God,
love watching her, and yeah, I'm totally into it.
Oh my God.
I told a friend I sent a TikTok to a friend of mine on Bailey, our Tourette syndrome girl.
She went off the grid for a minute.
She did.
She's back.
She's been back, yeah.
Yes,
but she hasn't posted as many.
She's going through it.
Yeah, she's very honest about the fact that she suffers from depression, and she has some other mental health issues, not other than Tourette's. Yeah. Like, that's not her whole life.
Well, and because she was going back to school, and that would be an issue for her.
Huge.
Yes.
Oh, you mean posting all the time?
No, just coping.
Oh, coping. Yeah.
Makes it very
So
difficult.
when I sent it to the friend, he was watching it, and it was one of her newer TikToks. I feel like her tics have gotten a little worse, I should say.
They've gotten worse.
Yeah, I don't know if it's because she's going through...
It's school.
And she's gotten under a lot of pressure or whatever.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
But so she's gotten some new tics. Now, if you love Bailey like I do. And you do too, her, ticking or not ticking, you love her, right?
She's gorgeous.
And you're not
sweet.
saying like, you're not laughing at her tics. You're not laughing at her necessarily.
No.
Right. But, what I find interesting about Tourette's is part of their tics. It's almost like it's part of their personality. Not the tics themselves, but what they say in their tics.
If they absorb it from whatever.
Yeah, so it's an extension of their personality that you see when they're not ticking.
Exactly.
Like, so some of the things she says, I know, are probably thoughts or things she thinks or has said before.
Sure.
And they just come out in a tick.
It does. It's
so
true.
Sometimes I laugh at that part of it, not because she's ticking, but because
she laughs at
what she says is like,
she laughs
oh my God, yeah,
she
right?
Says, oh, I was watching a show or whatever.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I shared that particular clip with a friend, and he was like 5 seconds into it. He put in a pause. He goes, "Is this real?" He's like, is this a real thing? Like, he legit was like, is this thing that she has, or is she faking it? I'm like, You've never heard of Tourette's syndrome? He's like, well, I mean, I've heard about it, but I never actually knew what it was. I'm like, this is it. I'm like, she's all about Tourette's awareness. And
she's an extreme version for sure.
She is. So it was very enlightening for this young person that I shared it with.
Things.
Yes.
TikTok is educational.
Right? And I'm like, and I don't watch this because I'm laughing at her. I'm like, if you watch her long enough, you'll fall in love with her.
Although I will say Daryl's trying really hard to be on my level with what I send him, because I send him absolutely debased, horrifying TikToks. I send them to you too.
Yeah, we have a different... What we share with each other is probably different than what you share.
You sent me things. You're like, this boy's so cute. And I'm like, here, look at this limbless person playing cornhole. Like, that's the kind of shit I said.
I wasn't going to say it out loud.
Why?
Because I didn't want people to know that we make...
We're making fun.
That we send each other stuff like that.
Hey, if you're going to put it on a public forum, I'm going to fucking share it. Okay. You want to be limbless and play cornhole against a very large black man? I'm going to show it to someone. It needs to be seen. That stuff needs to be seen by others, okay?
Oh my God. I mean, come on. I thought we were like super sick and twisted, but I'm sure everybody else is too.
You know what? If I sent this to you, or if, these
what
women
I found funny about that boy was talking about the boob holder. He had his mother's bra.
He's like, they're a poop holder?
Yeah, and then the parents were like, the kid was like, what are boobs for? Like, why are they there? Why must they exist?
Oh, he hasn't had the top.
And so the parents were like, well, they're what babies use to get milk. He's like, wait a minute.
What?
He's like, are you saying that I sucked on that?
Oh my God.
And he proceeds to go have an epiphany of like, I sucked on, and then he
they
was
freak
just
out.
mortified.
Yes.
He couldn't believe that him and his brother had actually sucked on his mother's breast, and he could not handle it.
And now when he falls in love, and if he falls in love with a woman, he'll know,
get it, yeah.
and he won't be.
Well, the dad was trying to be like, well, that's how they get their nourishment, son. That's how babies, survive.
He's like, I'm disgusted.
And the mom is just cracking up.
He's laughing. I know.
So funny.
Aw. Yeah, so we're kind of in our TikTok phase right now. But anyway, all right. Well, with that being said, have a lovely Thanksgiving if you observe, I should say. Sorry, we're sucking down mimosas.
I am drinking mimosas, and it's very tart. I know.
You insisted on more OJ.
No, it's good. You know what's happening is that we've been doing the show for an hour.
Yeah.
So they're starting to get warm.
I know. I'm ready to shoot.
So I'm like, I have to drink it now, or it's going to go to waste.
Forever hold its peace.
So people,
I know. Anyway, so enjoy your turkey, and we will recap all of this. And so yeah,
something awkward will have to come out of Thanksgiving. There's no doubt.
My God.
Foreshadow.
Beyond. All right. Goodbye, everybody. Bye.